channel. You're watching At Home with Troy, and I am Troy. And in today's video, what I have in store for you is a couple of recipes, a couple of things that I make for my family for a Christmas breakfast, I guess you could say, or Christmas brunch, because we definitely don't get up early enough to do just breakfast and then have 3 meals that day, because I cook a decent size Christmas dinner. So Christmas brunch, and these are just a couple of things that my family likes. They're super a home cook friendly. They're nothing fancy, just products that we all buy from time to time and have in our refrigerator. And in the midst of me cooking and me sharing these things with you, I will be also talking to you about my family's Christmas traditions. Now, my family is pretty established. My husband and I have been together for about 13 years as far as marriage, and 14 as far as being together, and we've got some pretty solid traditions down, and I want to share those with you just in case your family is new and starting out, or maybe you would like some new traditions in your family, because as a family we talk about that sometimes, like, do we want to make this a regular thing for our holiday season, and just some ideas for you. Before I go any further, this video is in collaboration with Brittany from Brittany's Beautiful Chaos. I'm so happy that we decided to do this together. We've been buddies here on YouTube for quite some time now, and I can't believe we're just doing a collaboration, but nonetheless, I'm super excited. So you guys, over on Brittany's channel, she has a ton of mommy content. She has cooking, cleaning, hauls, you name it, it's there. She is a stay-at-home mother of 4 awesome kids and 4 adorable dogs. God bless her. I don't know how she does it. But definitely head over there and check her channel out as soon as you are done with mine. You will not be disappointed in her content. It's always amazing. So you guys, thanks so much for listening, and let's get started on this Christmas Day brunch as well as these traditions. Okay, you guys, so as I'm cooking and showing you these recipes, I'm gonna pop in and out here with our traditions. So one of the first traditions that we ever established, like way back when we only had 2 kids, like many years ago, we only have 3 now, but when we were first starting out, our family was fresh and new, we let the kids put the tree topper on the Christmas tree. And what we did is we would rotate it every single year. So of course, my daughter being the oldest, she started the tradition. And then when Eli came along, it was his turn. And then when Emmanuel came along, it's his turn. So every 3 years, a child gets to put the topper on. And I decorate the tree. And whenever they come home from school or whenever they wake up in the morning, as a family, we all wait for that person to get ready to come downstairs. And my husband, for the little ones, lifts them up and let them put on the tree topper. And my daughter's at that age where she could climb on the ladder and probably do it herself. But we just think it's a really great way for the kids, to participate, and it's something that they get to, discuss amongst each other each year. And sometimes even they forget, and they're like, "Is it your turn? Is it my turn?" And certain things bring back to memory. But it's really exciting to for them to get to put the tree topper on. And also, I just love watching them engage and be like, "No, it's your turn. You do it." So I think it's a great tradition, and the kids love it. Me and my husband, we love it. We love seeing them, be excited about it. So that is something that we have had since day one. So you guys, first up, I'm going to show you my hash brown casserole. Now, this isn't a copycat recipe or anything you'll find online. It's just cheesy goodness that I love. So in that big old bowl there to the right are cut up potatoes. I cut them up very thinly. I prepped them the night before. So you can use a bag of hash browns, but I'm just a weirdo like that when it comes to holidays. I try really hard to do everything from scratch, because I feel like if I cook on a holiday the way I do on, the weekday, it's not as special. So I chopped up the potatoes all on my own very thinly. And what I'm putting into this mixture for the hash brown casserole is about 8 ounces of sour cream. Seasoning it to the way you like. I use garlic, salt and pepper, paprika, and a little bit of onion powder. I have about 3/4 cup of cheese, and also I had some chicken broth that I poured into there as well. So I chopped up probably about 3 really large size russet potatoes, which was a little bit too much. I am going to end up freezing some of these, but I'd rather have too much than too little. And so as I'm just going to stir all of this mixture together and just make sure everything's evenly distributed and it will be all over everything so that nothing has any weird pockets that don't have any flavor or that don't have the cheese mixture on it. And in the meantime, what you should do is definitely spray your casserole dish or your pan and put it in there that way. Of course, some of the cheese is going to end up sticking, but it just helps with cleanup after the fact. So make sure you spray your pan. So you guys, for the most part, I do not measure when I cook. I know how much garlic I like. I know how much salt there needs to be. But down in the description box below, I will definitely list all the ingredients and roundabout estimate of the measurements that I used so you can make something extremely similar. So after this is all panned up and in the casserole dish, I'm going to take a cup of cheese, and I'm using the Colby Jack. You can use anything that you would like, you know, whether you want to do mozzarella or you want to do sharp, just whatever your family's preference is. And I'm just drowning it in cheese, just gonna, you know, put it all on the top and pat it down. And after all of that, I baked it in the oven at about 375 for about 40 minutes uncovered. So you guys, for my second tradition that we always have is I read the story of Jesus' birth from the Bible. Now, I read out of the King James Version, so it's a little bit more complicated for my youngest two to grasp. But as the years go on, they'll understand it and they'll, you know, get the type of language and vocabulary that is used. But there is something new that I do intend to do this year. I do intend to also read Jesus' birth out of a storybook so that it is a little bit more easy for my younger two to understand. So you guys, here's the book that I was referencing. Of course, I still intend to read to my children out of the Bible, but this is just a book that will keep my younger two a little bit more engaged and just be on a level that they could understand and that they'll grasp the concept, because I don't want the concept lost on them. We do center our holiday around Jesus. The gift giving is great, but my children, you know, completely understand what the holiday is about, why we celebrate it, and this just kind of brings it all home for them. So on to the second dish, you guys. What I'm going to make is a frittata. And right now I am just going to saute some onions, some tomatoes, and a little bit of spinach. This is not too much because my kids aren't a big fan of having vegetables in their eggs. So this is just me going to saute them so I can bake it in half of the frittata for me and my husband. So of course I spray the bottom of my pan with my olive oil spray. And so I'm going to go in here with, I think I used about 8 eggs total. You guys know I don't measure anything. So I'm using here probably about 5 whole eggs. And then I'm coming in with about 3 egg whites. So whether I make scrambled eggs, pretty much anything with eggs, I always add just a dab of milk. It's just something that I always saw my mom do growing up. I think it was to make the eggs go a little bit further. I think that it makes it just a little bit more light since I have so many yolks in here. So I'm just using my immersion blender because, as I said, I want it to be a little bit fluffy. I don't want it to be too heavy, you know, that's why I added the milk. And then, you know, the immersion blender gives it all of those great bubbles. So I just topped it off with a little bit of the Colby Jack cheese, and it is going to go into the oven. And I am going to cook it at 370, but I'm only going to keep it in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes tops.
It's the time of year.
Another tradition that we have in our family, as I stated before, that we really try to keep our children centered, that this holiday is around Jesus and his birth, and the reason that he came to earth, to sacrifice himself for our sins, is that my children only get 3 gifts each. Each child gets 3 gifts for the Christmas holiday. All throughout the year, my children are, indulged quite a bit. So I don't feel any type of way as far as like maybe they don't have everything or they don't get as much as, other children may get. My children lead a very blessed and a very charmed life. So 3 gifts on the holidays I feel is adequate. And to tie in with the story of the birth of Jesus, he was bought 3 gifts from the wise men. So I let my children know if 3 gifts were good enough for our Messiah, it's good enough for you. So for the third item on the menu, you guys, I am just doing these spiced muffins. There's nothing fancy here. I'm just following the instructions on the box. If you are new, welcome. I am so glad to have you. And one thing you should always know is that I cannot bake to save my life. Everything that comes baked or any goodies for my family are usually out of a box. I'll doctor them up or make them pretty, but I am not a good baker by any means. So I'm just going to get these muffins started. As a tradition, I don't always do spiced muffins, just, whatever we're in the mood for, maybe blueberry, maybe some of the orange cranberry, just anything my family requests. And the fourth tradition that I want to talk to you guys about today is our Christmas movie tradition. So I know all families watch, Christmas movies throughout the holidays. But my family, we have our favorites. And a part of our tradition is that we all have to sit through each other's favorites. And we don't do it all at once. We do it throughout the season. We usually start, early November, usually right after Veterans Day, which is November. So about after, the Veterans Day, we all, start to pull out our favorite movies. And so for my boys, their favorite movie is The Polar Express. And we all as a family sit through The Polar Express one evening and watch that. And for me, my favorite movie is The Christmas Story. And for my daughter, hers is The Grinch, but not the animated one, the one with Jim Carrey. She absolutely adores that. And for my husband, his is a toss-up between the National Lampoon's, the one with Chevy Chase, I can't remember what it's called, Christmas Vacation, that one, and also The Christmas Carol, yeah, and he likes the one where Jim Carrey does the voiceover. So every single year we sit through each other's favorite Christmas movie, and we just hang out with either hot cocoa, popcorn, or whatever snacks that we decide that we want for that evening. So on to the fourth item for the brunch is French toast. Now this is definitely a staple in my family, whether it's a Sunday morning or whether it's a holiday morning. They really love French toast as a treat. So how I'm making my mixture is I'm using some imitation vanilla because the real stuff costs an arm and a leg, some cinnamon, and I am using some nutmeg. And I used heavy cream, about 3 eggs, and a splash of milk. I'm going to go on with my immersion blender again and just give everything a good stir just to make sure all of the ingredients are mixed very well and distributed evenly. So my pan is already hot and I already threw a little bit of butter on it. And so I am making my French toast with Texas toast. Of course you can use regular bread, but I just find using a thicker slice of bread is just better for the absorption of the mixture and overall just tastes better in my opinion. So you guys, here we are at the end of my video, and I want to thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope that maybe my traditions might have inspired you or make you want to add a couple of things to your holiday traditions. And I hope you got some good recipes from me as well. These are just things that my family love. As I said, nothing fancy, just good food with people that I love. Please, you all, do not forget to head to Brittany's channel and check out her video as well, as she's talking about her family tradition and she's cooking up a storm too. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.